Hey everyone, Irit here with another process video for HipKit Club. And this project is part of the blog hop we're having for the 12 days of giving. And like last year, every day there's a ton of inspiration and free cut files and printables and tons of freebies. So make sure you check all the HipKit Club social media, blog and everything to get your hands or computer on some of these goodies. So I'm using today's file, which was designed by Kim, and it's called a kaleidoscope cut file. And what I did, I opened it in my Silhouette software, and then I right-clicked it and clicked Release Compound Path, and then I just deleted the outer circle, and this way, I'm sorry, I'm going hunting for some inks, but it will give me time to tell you what I'm doing. So the original cut file is this beautiful circle with all this like kaleidoscope looking cuts inside it, all these geometrical shapes. But that you see here. So the original file is just the circle one. With this beautiful pattern. Gorgeous. I can think of tons of ways of using it. It would be beautiful on a layout, and I'm sure Missy, who, if I'm not mistaken, is also posting today with me, I'm sure she'll do something amazing with it, but I really wanted to use it as a stencil because we got in the kit this month, in the color kit, we got 2 Distress Oxide inks. We got the Peacock Feathers, which you see now on the screen, and then on the right side you can see the what's it called, squeezed citron. It's like this, you know, bright I'm gonna say it's squeezed citron, but radioactive citron. What's it called? Twisted, not squeezed, right? The squeezed lemonade is a different color. Twisted citron, and it's a fantastic lime green. So I love the Distress Oxide inks. I started a series on my channel, and I only got to 3 installments in the series because I just kind of I've been dealing with all kinds of things and schedule issues, and I just didn't get a chance to create more videos. But I do have those 3 videos with lots of fun ideas on how to use these. And here I decided to keep it very simple. So I'm using the cut file as a stencil. I cut it from a piece of cardstock from the cardstock kit. You can of course use any paper you want. I chose one of the dark cardstocks that I'm very unlikely to use because I don't use dark colors. So these are perfect to create, you know, stencils and masks and such things. And I am using the 2 colors that we got in the color kit, but I also wanted to bring in some of my favorite colors like pink and yellow. So I'm adding from my stash. Now, you don't have to use Distress inks to get this look. You can use like the Distress Oxides. You can use any ink that you have. The blending tool is quite handy. It just makes it easier. If you don't have inks, you can totally use spray mists to get a very similar effect. It won't look identical, but it will get the job done. I have done this plenty of times with spray inks, and you can find those videos on my channel too. Especially I do that for my shimmers projects, my monthly shimmers projects, and I have a whole playlist of all my mixed media scrapbooking layouts. So if that's, you know, the type of scrapbooking that you enjoy with mixed media, just you can binge watch that playlist and get tons of ideas and inspiration. So the yellow that I brought is, if I'm not mistaken, the fossilized amber. And if you are like me and you like the same colors that I like, then you are probably anxiously waiting for Ranger to finally release some more of the Distress Oxide in colors like Squeezed Lemonade, because that's their best yellow if you ask me. But the amber color did its job, and I also used the two pinks from the Distress Oxide lineup, which are something worn lipstick. Worn lipstick. That's kind of the more like warm pink, and not squeezed, something raspberry. Picked raspberry. Wow, I'm really bad with these names. I should put these things right in front of me when I do this narration. Sorry, that's not your trouble. So I just want to tell you which colors I added, and I also added cracked pistachio, which is somewhere between the peacock feathers and twisted citron in the color. It's kind of the perfect minty color. And with these, how many do I have here? 6 inks that I have, 2 from the color kit and then 4 more for my stash. For me, that is quite a good color selection if you want kind of the rainbow look. Of course, you could add more colors, but I think these 6 work really, really wonderfully together, and also the combinations look amazing. And yeah, so I had a lot of fun with them, and I blended the colors also to get some shades in between, kind of like nice mixes. They blend so beautifully. And I'm working on some white cardstock from the cardstock kit, and I just sprayed a little bit of water just to get some texture. And you could spray this like with a lot of water and kind of see what happens, but I didn't want to risk it that the whole thing gets messed up, so I sprayed a little. Now if you're using regular, and I'm just showing you this kind of ghosting effect that you get if you if you let the water drops sit for a little bit and then you kind of blot them with a paper towel or a piece of cloth or something, then they kind of bleach. You get this bleached or ghosted look, and it's just it looks very I really like it, and I think it looks more interesting than just the solid color. If you're using regular cardstock, don't use too much water because it will buckle. And yeah, the nice thing about using something like inks and a blending tool as opposed to spray mists is that you can use regular cardstock, and because you're not using any liquid, it won't buckle, but you can still play and get this fabulous mixed media background. Obviously I kept my look kind of very clean, but you can make it a little bit more messy, add some splatters, and have more fun with it. I kept it clean in this instant. So I'm using 2 photos that I printed on one 4x6 photo paper on my Canon Selfie, and I just printed 2 photos. And I really like working when I have portrait photos, I mean in their orientation as opposed to landscape, and I want to use 2 photos. If I use 2 4x6 prints, it's just a little bit too big for my liking. I do like to have a lot of space to play with my products and embellishments and everything. And yeah, so when I'm using portrait photos, I prefer to print them, 2 or 3 or more, just on a smaller size, so that they are 4 inches tall, and then just depending on their width. With landscape photos, I find it a lot easier to work with the larger photos, but yeah, but just in general lately, I really love working with 2 or more smaller photos. And these photos are lovely. Yeah, I could have printed them bigger, but I didn't. I'm also lazy, so So I'm backing them with some of the 3x4 cards that we got in the kits this month. And yes, it was a little bit difficult to use these fantastic cards when just like such a tiny bit of them is showing. But we have so many that I'm pretty confident that I will get to use a lot of them in my December documented album anyway. And yes, I think I will be attempting a December documented project. I have all these beautiful, beautiful supplies, and I would love to try. Time will tell if I succeed. I should start, at least working on some foundation pages, but to be honest, I'm not a huge fan. I like to, work with my photo and then kind of pick the supplies that go with it. And yeah, so I'm not sure how I will make this happen. I definitely, want to try to do as much as I can every day on a daily basis, get into some sort of a routine. But yeah, I know myself, and that's why I'm scared to make any promises. We'll see what happens. So I also used one of these cute crate paper frames that we got in the kits, and I just put it around my daughter and her cousin, my niece, in that photo where they are small, just to, kind of attract the viewers' attention to them. They're super cute. So on what I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the photos here, because I'm pretty much done with, the background is done, and now the rest is going to be pretty simple, just building some layers behind my photos. So the photos are of my daughter Ella, my eldest, and her cousins, and we went to a short visit to Israel, and she got the chance to spend the weekend with them. And my brother and his wife, they took them to a place called Mini Israel. So it's close to Jerusalem, and it's like, I think there are similar places, around the world. I know in Austria there is a similar one. I'll get to that in a second. So the place called Mini Israel has these, models of kind of landmarks from around the country. And yeah, so they just had fun there and visited the whole country in a few hours. So I think it's a cute place to come with kids. And the one I know in Austria is in a city called Klagenfurt, and it's called Mini Mundus. And that place has actually like small models of places from all over the world. So it's not just for Austria, but from all over the world, all kinds of famous places. My problem with going there, I've been there already a couple of times, and my problem with going there is that I get the worst case of wanderlust when I go there, because I see all these amazing places. I can tick some boxes and say, oh, I was there and I was there, but there are still so many places to visit. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you feel inspired. Thank you for watching. I wish you a lovely day. Bye.